Do you know the main differences between a townhouse and a condo? If you don't, I'm gonna give you 5 key differences in this video, so stay tuned. Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Cesar Yanes and I'm your real estate authority here in Silicon Valley. And today I'm gonna be sharing with you what the main differences are between a townhouse and a condo. But before we get into the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you find value in my content, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and let's get into the video. So I'm gonna be speaking in pretty general terms about this because from what I know and my experience is from here in California and specifically the Bay Area, it may be different for you if you reside in a different city or in a different state in the country, but hopefully it's very parallel to you and you can gain value from this. The first main key difference I wanna share with you between a townhouse and a condo is the type of ownership. Now, what do I mean by type of ownership? So when you buy a townhouse, you're actually buying the lot itself. So you own the land where your townhouse lies on, and you also own the entire structure, meaning the entire building, the entire townhouse itself. So you own the land and the structure. Whereas when you buy a condo, you actually don't own the land itself where your unit sits on. Rather, you own an interest in that condominium complex, that condominium community. And also sometimes you do own the unit itself, but just the interior of it. Meaning you own everything inside your walls, but anything on the exterior, any exterior components, those you don't own. So the siding on the walls, the roof, sometimes the plumbing, that's condominium ownership, and you just own an interest in it. So I would say that's the main difference between the two. The second main difference between a townhouse and a condo is the look and feel of them. So for the most part in our area, townhomes are a little more similar to single families where you have your own private entrance to your home, but you do have shared walls, common walls with your neighbors. So typically you have a common wall with each neighbor on each side, unless you're a corner unit, and they look more like rows of homes because they're right next to each other. You don't have that space in between them. Another thing is these townhomes are 2 stories or tri-level. The tri-level are very popular in our area. That's mainly what builders are building today. And most of the new construction will continue to be these tri-level homes because they're very good for in-laws when they have the guest bedroom downstairs. It's just pretty popular. Whereas condos are a little bit more different. Condos are more apartment style living, meaning you enter a building, it has a lobby, you go to the elevator to access the 3rd, 4th, 5th floor, and you don't have a private entrance. Rather, you have a hall and you see the other units in the same hall and you just enter your unit. You have neighbors on top of you, below you sometimes, and typically these condo buildings are much bigger. They have much more units than a townhouse community. Typically townhome communities are much smaller. And another key difference, we'll get into this video later on, is amenities too. With condos, typically you get more amenities rather than townhomes, but that's the second main difference. We just touched on this a little bit, but the third key difference is the HOA fees. Typically, because condos have a lot more amenities like pool, gym, saunas, I don't know, a little barbecue area. Typically your HOAs are more expensive because you have to pay for those amenities as well as all the maintenance and upkeep of the community, keeping the landscaping, the roof of all the buildings, and so on. Townhomes typically have lower HOA fees because there's not as much maintenance. Typically, townhome communities here in our area don't have a lot of amenities, so the HOA fees are much smaller. Typically, they just take care of the landscaping and the electricity to keep lights on in the community, and that's about it because the owners have to take care of their building, their roof, their plumbing, everything about their structures. The fourth key difference between townhomes and condos is the CC&Rs and rules and regulations. For the most part, condos tend to have more rules than townhomes. They have rental restrictions. They have a lot about the changes you can make to the interior of your unit and the exterior of your unit. Generally, condo complexes want to maintain the integrity of the building. They don't want you to make any structural changes. They want you to keep the area clean outside of your unit, like your patio, your balcony, a lot of that. So typically there's more rules with that. With townhomes, you have a little more flexibility with what you can do. Yes, they still want you to maintain the general integrity in the outside of the building, but you're more free to make structural changes inside of the unit if your condo allows. Of course, read the CC&Rs, rules and regulations of all of that. But for the most part, you have a lot more flexibility when it comes to living in a townhouse community HOA rather than a condo. You have a lot more rules, regulations, pets, things like that. So make sure to check that out if you're considering buying either of those. And lastly, the fifth main difference between townhomes and condos is going to be price. Generally speaking, condos are cheaper than townhomes. And one of the reasons, as I mentioned in my first main point, is the ownership type. With townhomes, you actually own the land where the townhouse sits. So naturally that makes them more valuable. But condos are a very starter home type of property. They're smaller in general, so 2 to 3 bedrooms max, not a lot of square footage. The demographic it attracts is first-time home buyers, single. So it's a smaller type of property, which naturally makes it more affordable. Whereas townhomes, I would say, is a step up on that ladder of home ownership. It attracts maybe a young married couple that are expecting a baby, maybe 1 or 2 kids. Typically they are bigger, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms. They're 3 stories big most of the time, so you have a lot more square footage and space in the house. So obviously the bigger the house is, the more it's going to cost if location is the same. So I would say for the most part, yes, condos are cheaper, more affordable, although you'll have a little bit higher HOA. Townhomes, you're gonna have to spend more money, lower HOA. And also I want to point out that because you do own the land in townhomes, and the demand for them is a little bit stronger, the appreciation for townhouses rather than condos is typically higher. So you can expect a faster investment or return on your money if you buy a townhouse rather than a condo. And that is all. Hope this video helped you distinguish the difference between townhomes and condos. Let me know if you have any additional questions in the comments. I'll make sure to answer them. Thank you again for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. And check out this other video I did about Sunnyvale. This park in Sunnyvale is amazing, so make sure to check it out. And I'll see you next time. Peace.
Give me every time.